right, it's 9 o'clock. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are recording this meeting so that if you would like to revisit this and listen to the information again, or for those that could not attend, if they have to work or other, they can reference this later. Let's get started. Our first guest today is Judy Jones. Judy's going to be talking to you about high school pathways with core and college prep. Welcome, Judy.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am Judy Jones, the Director of Graduation Support Services, and we work with helping high school students meet graduation requirements. So we're going to quickly go over the two ways that Oklahoma has for students to graduate. Oklahoma actually has two paths, what they call a CPWR, or College Prep Work Ready, or a core path. So we're just going to go over what that looks like. All students, no matter which path that they choose, have to earn a minimum of 23 credits to graduate from high school. So one path does not require less than another. So both have to have 23 credits. In addition to the 23 credits, the State Department has also has some other requirements that are needed to graduate. Students have to have the 14 components of personal finance. Sometimes that's a course. Sometimes it's embedded in a course at other schools. CPR is a graduation requirement, except for EPIC. We're exempt from that requirement. And participation in state mandated testing. Usually this is done in 11th grade, and EPIC uses ACT test. You have to participate in that to graduate. And then starting with this year, ICAP, which is Individual Career Academic Plan, is also a graduation requirement, and that includes one service or work-based learning activity. And then in the future, in 2025, students will also be required to pass the U.S. naturalization exam. And all of those are things that must be done regardless of which path a student chooses to graduate on. So here's the basic breakdown of what credits are needed. And hopefully this chart helps you get a quick snapshot of what the differences are. So I have the college preparatory column here and the state core path here. As you can see, everybody needs 4 Englishes. Everybody needs 3 math credits, 3 science credits, 3 history credits. The difference starts right here around the world language or computer technology. If you're on the college prep path, you have to have 2 credits, and those need to be the same thing. You can't mix and match them. So like 2 years of Spanish or 2 years of computer technology. Whereas if you're on the state core plan, you just need 1 credit of those. And again, they have to be the same credit. So a full year of Spanish or French or ASL, or a full year of computer technology, things like that. And so the next difference you'll see is the next line, the additional core. If you're on that college prep path, they require 1 credit of an additional core. And so what that means is just that you need an additional science or history or computers or world language, and those can be mix and matched. And the state core does not require that. Fine arts, everybody needs a full credit of fine arts. And so the electives, you can see the difference there is that the college prep has 6 credits of electives. The state core has 8. And the difference being the world language and the additional core. And so that difference is found in the electives. And then you can see the grand total for everybody is 23 credits. So if you're ever wanting to kind of have a checklist, every one of your students in high school has a checklist, but the State Department has a great website with a very colorful checklist that's easy to see. And that way students can just check off courses as they're taking them, and they know exactly what's still needed to graduate. Here's an example of one of those checklists from the State Department's website. This is for the class of 2024, so this is for the upcoming school year. And this is a college preparatory work ready. And so it really gives you a breakdown of what's needed in each subject. You can literally go in and check these boxes. And then the second page are all of the extra things that I talked about on top of courses. So it talks about participation in state assessments. It talks about personal finance, your ICAP. So it's a really great way to track how your student's doing in meeting those goals to get to graduation. This is the same thing, except it's for students on the core graduation path. The breakdown is a little bit different, and it reflects the requirements needed to graduate on that path. So sometimes it's hard to decide, like, which paths should I choose when we're talking with our teacher and we're entering high school, or maybe life happens and we need to change which path that we're on. So these are just some general guidelines to help you make that decision. You can change your mind every year, right? You can change your mind mid-year if things aren't going the way that you thought they were going, or you want to, we're on the core path and you decided you do want to go to college and meet those requirements. So anyway, here's just some general guidelines to help guide your decision. Students in the following situations will likely need to choose the college preparatory CPWR path. Students that are Oklahoma's Promise students, that's a scholarship program. And so the scholarship is to go to college. And so you have to meet certain requirements to get that scholarship. And that includes meeting those college preparatory high school courses. Students that want to play college sport with through NCAA, usually a Division I or Division II school, really need to be on the college preparatory path, because you're going to college, you're playing sports, and there's NCAA has certain requirements to qualify for that. If you're planning on attending college right after high school or anytime in the future, we recommend going ahead and being on that college prep pathway. That way you're taking courses that'll help better prepare you for college. And if you're just not sure what to do, then usually you want to default to the college prep pathway. So on the opposite spectrum, why should you choose a core pathway? Well, if you're an aging out student, that means you're maybe turning 20, 21, things in your high school career have taken longer than you thought they would. Usually choosing the core path gives you a little bit less rigorous of a path to get there. The core pathway doesn't require like an algebra 2 or a pre-calculus course, something like that. You can take a less rigorous math, something like math of finance. So if you're struggling with higher level math, you might want to switch to the core pathway to give you the opportunity to take a less rigorous math. If you're behind in credits or behind in cohort, that means maybe you were supposed to graduate last year and you're a year behind or 2 years behind, or you missed some schooling somewhere. You might choose the core pathway just because it has some less rigorous requirements. And if you're just not planning on attending a four-year college, and you don't need those college preparatory classes, you might choose the core pathway. I do want to note though, if you choose the core pathway and you later on decide to go to college, that's fine. Nothing's going to stop you from doing that. When you get to the college though, they might have you take some remedial courses in addition to the degree requirements that they have. So that's the only caveat there, but you can definitely still go to college if you graduate high school on the core pathway. Can I change graduation paths? Yes, you can change at any time. We do have a form though that is required by the State Department to be signed if you start on the college prep pathway and you opt out of that, meaning you want to go to the core. There is a form to sign just stating that you realize that you are opting out of the college prep pathway. It will affect the Oklahoma's Promise scholarship, things like that. So your teacher can assist you with making those changes. And then at Epic, our team that does your high school scheduling they're called graduation support specialists, or GSSs, and they can help adjust your schedule once that form is filled out. And so how do I communicate my desired graduation path with my academic advisor? So at Epic, we capture this information on the ILP. There's some questions there that gets that, but if you've already completed the ILP, your teacher can just submit a schedule change ticket or a grad path change ticket, and we can get that updated for you.
Right now, we're going to go ahead and start with our ICAP session. Marina Johnson.
We are at the Next Step department, college and career, preparing students for their next steps after high school. And so the mission then of the department is to make sure that they have the skills ready for that once they leave the high school experience. So in that one, we want to talk about how we accomplish the mission for getting students ready for their next steps after high school. We want to make sure that they have opportunities while they're in high school to prepare them for their jobs after high school, whether that be military jobs, straight to work, college, tech schools, those sort of things. And so we're going to have students in high school that are going to have those post-secondary opportunities where they learn how to prepare for life after high school. And so that's what they're talking about in 11th and 12th grade. Those are called next steps, and they'll have opportunities, and that is now a state requirement for all high schoolers in 11th and 12th to have those skills taught to them about what it means to be future ready and have those skills. So in those steps, there are different tiers that we are working with students on, and that's my tier is the ICAP, which is also known as the Individual Career and Academic Plan. So we have students who are preparing for that transition to high school, and now we're getting to add 8th grade into it next year. So they'll have opportunities to meet and fill out information about their ICAP and what that means, and we'll talk about what ICAP is exactly. So one thing that I'm excited about next year is if you have been with Epic, you know that the teacher is the one that has facilitated the ICAP prior. We have the opportunity to hire college and career advisors, so teachers and staff who are educated and very masterful in the college and career realm. We are going to work with students those are designed to be regionally. So, you know, in all regions of the Oklahoma, there are students who will be assigned to an advisor, and that advisor will walk them through the steps of every year of ICAP. So I'm really excited about that. We do have a new position also called the transition specialist. So, you know, once you graduate high school, sometimes students are a little bit lost. And so we want to keep that connection, that tether to the high school experience, and have someone that can facilitate their transition out of high school, whether that may be college or career or any questions that they may have after they leave high school. So here comes my ICAP. So I love the ICAP because it is individualized. Every student has a different path that they're going to go to, whether that is a college or straight to work or military. So basically the ICAP is that individual career and academic plan. We also call it a portfolio because it's basically like a pumped up resume, so to speak. Students can put in their grades from test scores. They can put in courses that they're taking, opportunities, extracurricular activities, and they have all of these contained into a portfolio that we keep and they have access to after they graduate. So it's a really nice step. So like I said before, we're going to be starting in the 8th grade. So students in 8th grade will have opportunities to meet with those college and career advisors, ask any questions about what it's like to be a high schooler, get to know themselves a little bit better. What are they working on? What are their likes? What are their interests? And then we can help get them plugged into opportunities early. One thing nice about having those college and career advisors, if they start with this in 8th grade, they're also moving with us into those higher grades. So if we start with an 8th grader and they're with us, and we have them in 9th grade and 10th grade and all the way until they graduate. So that's really a nice opportunity for us to get to know each other and know that student and know what they like and what they don't like. So then moving on, oops, I went too far. With that individual career and academic plan. We have some vocabulary that you might need to know. Of course, I've talked about that ICAP. The plan of studies. This is where students are talking about what are they taking in high school? What are the requirements for Oklahoma? They have to have their 4 years of English, their math. And then when they get to those electives, that's the fun part. That's the one that where they have these goals of things that they want to do after high school. We want to plug them into those opportunities while they're in high school. And so they get to see, I do all of my have tos, and now the things that I want to and get to do. So that's what that plan of study is. So we talked about then their goals and action plans. So we want to make sure that students have plenty of time to think about the things that they want to do after high school. You know, just like we prepare our littles before they even go to school, we teach them the little letters of the alphabet, the colors, and we teach them maybe to write their name. So that way, when they go into school, they're prepared a little bit about what's going on in school. That's what our job is here at EPIC, is to prepare them for when they get out into that workforce. So they're not just graduating with that diploma. So we give them those opportunities to talk about what their goals are after high school. Here's the goals and action plans. So we want to make sure that students, if they say they want to be a cosmetologist or a welder, that we're getting them plugged into those opportunities. The state does require that they do community service, and we have several opportunities for students to participate in those community service opportunity advances. So also, students are given surveys to ask about what their likes are, what their dislikes are. They are understanding their interest, how they work, how they study, what they want their job to look like after they graduate high school. And then the very last thing on this list is their work-based learning. So the work-based learning is opportunities to maybe job shadow, to get a mentor, to do some internships, whether that be a virtual internship. So we want to provide all of those opportunities to help our students become work ready. So in this one, like I talked about, the exciting part is that they are going to have access to a college and career advisor. We know that teachers are doing an excellent job getting them ready academically, and we want to take this time here to work with students to get them college and career ready. So that's what we're so excited about. The top 8, if I could go over briefly just a little bit about that ICAP process. So if you've ever been with EPIC before, we start the year off with an ILP at the beginning of the year, meeting the teacher, getting to know them. And then after that, then we start working with students. We're going to be assigned to them. We get to work with them closely throughout the year. Students will be logging in kind of like they are now through Clever. So no more usernames and passwords, all that frustration. And then there's going to be quarterly activities. So the advisors get to meet with these students on a quarterly basis, getting to know them with their goals, getting to know them with their surveys, plugging them into classes that they want to take. So that's really kind of a nice opportunity. So we're going to work with those students throughout their high school experience. Of course, we have the different options for students who are OAP or for newcomer students. The ICAP process is a lengthy process. So if you do have a student that has difficulties with the language and things like that, then we do have alt opportunities. So they're still getting to participate in those meaningful experiences. And so like I did say, ICAP is an Oklahoma graduation requirement. And sometimes when you put that word requirement on there, that it does kind of like make it not fun, but it is so much more fun and it's useful, and the students really enjoy it when it's meaningful opportunities. All right, so here we are. It's a student driven. We want to get those interests that the students have. We want all of their input, all of their future ready, all of their visions that they have. So it's mainly student driven, and parents are involved. Parents can get logged in. Parents can oversee and participate in the ICAP process as well. So here's some of our coaches that we have just this year. I'm there at the top, and then we have Elizabeth, who's fantastic with students, and then Addie. And like I said, like next year when we present this page is going to be full of all of our new advisors who are going to be so ready to work with your students. And I do see that Jay has popped in, and Jay, I tried to reach out to you at the beginning. So if you have anything to say now, I'm going to go back to the very beginning and introduce yourself. And here's Jay.
Hey, good morning. You guys are on time and even a little early. So thank you so much for having our team. Marina, excellent job. You can just toggle over to the next slide if you'd like, Marina. And just, she kind of covered everything. Just wanted to underscore our intent with our department. We talk often about how we believe that if our students upon graduation don't have a better understanding, a deep understanding of who they perceive themselves to be and what options they have as it pertains to college and career and all of the different things that might happen after high school, then we really haven't done our job in ensuring that they are indeed future ready and in demand. So we are trying to be who we say we are and ensure that, in fact, when our students graduate from EPIC, they do feel purposed and empowered and excited about their next step in life. And they're looking forward to it. There's always a little bit of trepidation and anxiety with that. It's like, gosh, this is really happening. I'm graduating. But if you feel like you better understand who you are and what excites you every day and what options you have available to you, that is what we're aiming to do. And so I know Marina talked a little bit about this college and career advisor initiative, and we are so thankful that we're going to have advisors across the state that will help us do just that with our students. Teachers can focus more on the instructional demands of the job, and we can really get to know our students more directly around college and career, have those authentic conversations about those options through ICAP and other things. So the other piece, if you want to go to the next slide, Marina, that I don't know that we touched on a lot is the transition specialist, Nicole Brown, who has been serving in this department as our virtual internship specialist. We'll be moving over to that new role starting on June 1st, and we are thrilled that we're going to have a dedicated team member who can work specifically with students that are either or undecided or unplaced. And so you might know what you want to do after graduation and you've decided on that path, but you don't quite have a spot yet. You're still looking for that job, or you're still needing that person to help you, show up to campus and all of that. And so for us to be able to have someone that both our college and career advisors and specialists and even teachers and administrators can say, hey, your graduation is coming up. What are you going to do the day after graduation? And if they say, I don't know, I haven't really figured that out yet, we can say, perfect. We're going to get you connected with Nicole Brown, and she can help walk you through that and make sure we have all those final touches. And so again, we don't want our students not pursuing things because they don't know what their options are or they feel purposed. And so we want them to fully be able to envision what that looks like. So we're very excited about the school year 23-24 with all of these new initiatives. We are so thankful that we get to work with such a fantastic team that are so dedicated to helping ensure that our students are future ready and in demand. So thank you to the family engagement team for having us this morning. And we look forward to sharing more about other exciting things that we have going on in our department. Have a great day.
Well, it looks like Angie's here. And so if you're ready, Angie, we'll go ahead and start the ECA and +1 presentation.
Well, I just wanted to take a little bit of time today to talk with you about the opportunities that we have at EPIC, specifically with a program called EPIC Collegiate Academy. I know everybody loves what they do at EPIC, but I will tell anyone who listens that I actually have the very best job at all of EPIC because I get to oversee this fabulous program that brings such benefit to our students. So just in brief, EPIC Collegiate Academy, I'm actually going to bump ahead one slide here, is a program that allows our students to earn a significant amount of college credit by the time they graduate from high school. And we have two different tracks within EPIC Collegiate Academy. One of them is a +1 track. Now, here in a little bit, my colleague Shannon Starr is going to be hopping on to talk about various different +1 options that EPIC has available, but there is one through ECA where students can earn 1 full year of college by the time they graduate from high school. And then the other track that we have available in EPIC Collegiate Academy is an associate's degree. So if students opt for this path, they can graduate from high school with an associate's degree of science that is earned from Oklahoma Christian University. So it's a great opportunity for our students. ECA classes are all handled online virtually through a third partner provider that Epic has partnered with called TEL. And I'm going to move back a slide here. I know there's a lot of words on this particular slide. Kind of the right-hand side of your screen focuses on area college concurrent enrollment. Again, Shannon's going to be covering this information in a little bit more detail down the road. But I want to cover the left-hand side of the screen for you, just to give you a little introduction to these TEL classes. So as I said, TEL is a partner of Epic. All of the classes are available online. And we can work with TEL to sync up the calendar to the Epic calendar. So that makes it a really nice feature. So your students can log on through a tile in Clever and just get in there and start taking these online college classes. The classes are accredited through Oklahoma Christian University, and we have a wide variety of courses that they can select from. It's a lot of the general education classes that students would be encountering in the first and second year of college. So they can really get a big head start on their college classes through TEL. I do want to say, although I'm talking more specifically about the Epic Collegiate Academy program today, students can opt to take TEL classes individually. So if you look on that left-hand side of the screen, they can start taking TEL classes as ninth graders. Not every college class is available to ninth graders. So there's a list there of classes that ninth graders can take, but the full catalog is open to 10th through 12th graders. And they have some free options as well. So it's a great way, even if you have a student who maybe doesn't know that they want to sign on for all of the college classes that they would be getting through the Epic Collegiate Academy program, they can still get a head start by earning a few credits here and there. And it's a great way to kind of dip their toes into college level learning and save some money down the road too. So it's a great, great option. You see there, if you're taking the TEL classes individually, outside of the free classes, most TEL classes are $141. That's 3-hour class. Those can be charged to the Learning Fund. We do have a couple of different options. Future Readiness is $50 and the chemistry class is $200. So that just gives you a little bit of an overview into TEL. All TEL classes are self-paced. So students don't have to show up at a specific time for a class. They can work at their own pace and figure out what works best for them. However, even though they are self-paced, there are instructors that are assigned to each class. So if a student does have a question about content or about the assignments, they can connect with the professor through emails or office hours and get their questions answered. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. They do have a human being, an instructor that's assigned to these classes that they can reach out to, but they still have the flexibility to work at their own time for the TEL classes. So that's a big advantage. I know a lot of Epic families like that. So now that you kind of have a base level understanding here of how these TEL classes work, I want to dig into the specifics of Epic Collegiate Academy. So Epic Collegiate Academy, like I said, you're earning this significant amount of college credit. You can start this program as a 9th grader or a 10th grader if you want to earn the associate's degree, or you can still start the program as an 11th grader if you opt for +1. Unfortunately, there's not enough time to earn a full associate's degree in the 2 years remaining in high school, but you can still get a lot of that college credit through +1. So we can look on this slide here and kind of go through each item individually. On the associate's degree, as I mentioned earlier, students would be earning an Associates of Science from Oklahoma Christian University, and that is the equivalent of 2 full years of college by graduation. So there's different things that students may opt to do with this. So they could just go straight into the workforce. So, hey, you've got an associate's degree, this Associates of Science, you can take that out, get a job, and you're ready to go. You can also transfer this credit to a 4-year school and have 50% of your college done by the time you get there. So that's a great advantage too for our kids that are focusing on bachelor's degree or four-year colleges and universities. In the associate's degree track, students will be earning 62 college credits. So that's a significant amount of college credit. And if you paid out of pocket for them, if you went over to Edmond to OC, you would be paying a little over $60,000 for this degree. The beautiful thing for EPIC families is that you don't have to pay a penny out of pocket. So all of the charges for ECA come out of your learning fund. If you are a part of EPIC Collegiate Academy, you'll still get your technology package provided through EPIC, so you can still have your laptop and your MiFi device and all of that, and any high school curriculum that you still need in order to complete the high school side of your program. And then the rest of your learning fund will go to offset the costs for these ECA classes, but EPIC subsidizes the rest. So it is a tremendous value for our families. You're not having to open your wallet for any of this. Your student can earn all of this college credit without paying any out-of-pocket money. So amazing advantage. For the associate's degree, because it's 62 college credits, it is a pretty rigorous class load. So we want our families to know ahead of time what they're heading into when they sign up for EPIC Collegiate Academy. So if you start as a 9th grader, you would be taking 1 college class per semester. In 10th grade, then you move on to taking 2 college classes each semester, and starting the summer after 10th grade, so the summer after 10th and the summer after 11th, students would also be required to take summer school classes to get all of those course credits fit in. So it is a rigorous load. I tell students all the time, it's a high commitment, high responsibility, but very high reward at the end. So again, great program. We do have this +1 option. That's another part of EPIC Collegiate Academy. So if you opted for that instead, or if you started as 11th grader, you would be automatically put on this track. You'd be earning 1 full year of college by the time you graduate. So that's 32 college credits. And again, amazing value. It's the same setup with the Learning Fund. So you would be giving up your remaining Learning Fund after your tech and high school curriculum, but you still get classes offset by EPIC. And it's worth $30,000 if you paid for it out of pocket. If you opt for +1 as a 9th or 10th grader, you do have a little bit more flexibility in your schedule. So that means lighter loads during the semester, and you can make decisions. Do I want to work on these classes during the summer, or do I not? So if you take the summer classes, you can even lighten your college load a little bit more. So you've got lots of different paths that you can take, and really lots of ways to customize this experience to what makes the most sense for your student and for your family. So it's great opportunities there. We just actually had our first graduating class of ECA students this year, so I'm super proud. We ended up with 38 students that earned an associate's degree from EPIC Collegiate Academy. Many of them were able to walk at the OC ceremony. So they got the full experience of going on campus and walking across that stage and getting their diploma and all of that. They'll also be recognized at our EPIC graduations that are coming up in a little bit. So it's nice that we do so much for these students. There are some additional perks that come along with EPIC Collegiate Academy. So one thing that's really great, if you are an ECA student, then you are fully considered to be a student at OC as well. And so you have access to all of the things that an on-campus OC student would have. So they're going to build for you something called a My OC account, so you can get on there and keep track of your classes in that way. You've got some access to academic counseling on their side through that. You can also go to OC. Every semester we throw an event called ECA Eagle for a Day. So you can go on campus, and while you're there, you can learn about opportunities to continue your education at OC. So they give you information about financial aid packages, OC has several scholarships that they offer to EPIC students, and we have a very high percentage of those scholarships that are given to ECA students. So great opportunities to earn some scholarship dollars directly from the accrediting school that's a part of this program. So we're really excited about that partnership. You can tour the campus when you are there for that day. You can eat in the cafeteria. And then the big event that all of our students love the most is that you actually get a student ID badge made. So you'll have proof that you are a college student, and you can use that and take advantage of any discounts that are available to college students. So I know that that can save on, things like Amazon and buying books and your Spotify subscriptions and all those sorts of things. So you have access to that, but it's just a cool little artifact that you have as well. If you live near the OC campus and want to take advantage of the events that they have on campus, you can do that. So you can go there, you can use their library facilities, you can use their gym, you can take that ID, and if you want to go to concerts or plays or any events that they have on campus, you can utilize that as well. Even if you live in a different part of the state and you don't have easy access to the OC campus, you still have access to their online library through that ECA program. So that's a great advantage for our students as well. When you're in this Collegiate Academy program, you're going to need access to some scholarly sources when you're writing those research papers. So that's another great opportunity. TEL provides lots of support to our students, all TEL students. So they can work with student coaches. So these are college students who help students figure out, hey, I don't really know a lot about how to navigate a college class. So they help do things to help them manage their time, how to write college papers, how to study for exams. So that's a great resource. There's a writing lab that our students can make access of, so they can submit a paper to the writing lab and get feedback on it before they then submit it for a grade for their professors to grade. So that's another great resource that's available. And TEL has an immense library, and it's ongoing. They keep adding on and building more of videos and paper exemplars, lab report exemplars that students can look at. So if they're like, I've never done this before, I'm just a high school student, I don't really know how to do this college level work, there's all kinds of links that they can click on and learn more about, watch videos, and just learn how to navigate this new environment for them. So they have that support on that side. On the EPIC side, we provide support as well. So there's a lot of different cool features that are a part of this on the EPIC side. First off, I'm kind of the point person for ECA. I keep daily office hours. So students pop by all the time. I'm a former college professor myself. And so I'm always happy to review papers for students or give them, the same kind of feedback that they might be getting from the student coaches if it's a little bit easier to access me. Another thing that's cool about these classes is that your EPIC teacher will be able to log on and keep an eye on your progress. And so you have an extra layer of support and accountability there in the form of your EPIC teacher. He or she can get onto the TEL platform and say, notice, hey, I see maybe you're falling a little bit behind, or, maybe you didn't do so hot on this paper. What resources can we connect you to in order to improve your performance on the next one? So that's another great layer of support that we provide as well. I'm not sure, I know we're a little bit off time here, so I'm not sure how much longer I have, and I see that there's some questions coming in the chat. But I do want to let you know that applications for EPIC Collegiate Academy are open until the end of this month. So if you have a current 8th or 9th grader that's wrapping up their school year and they're interested in doing the associate's degree program, they can apply. If you have a current 10th grader who would be interested in doing the ECA +1 program, then they can apply as well. And that is available on our Next Step page. And then while we're talking here, I'll also link to the application in the chat.
Hey, Angela, thank you so much. That was very informative, and we can tell you have passion for helping our EPIC students, and I know they appreciate that. And just thank you for your time.
Happy to do it. Thanks, guys.
Next up, we have Shannon Starr. Shannon is with us to talk to you about concurrent enrollment. Welcome, Shannon.
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate everyone that is here. I handle all area college concurrent enrollment, public and private. I'm going to share my screen. I know Angie has shared with you a lot about concurrent enrollment from the TEL side. So our EPIC families have two different options for concurrent enrollment. One using the platform of TEL, and then the other platform is with an area college or university. So I've kind of put together a little bit of a diagram here to kind of help delineate who can do what at a college and an or university. So the State Department of Oklahoma will not allow public colleges or universities, unless they're in a pilot program with the state, for anybody beside a junior or a senior to take concurrent enrollment. Now, where it differs for TEL is because they're accredited by Oklahoma Christian, which is a private institution. So you'll notice for 9th and 10th graders, you're going to have two options. ORU also has a program called ORU Advantage where 9th graders can start taking concurrent enrollment there. It is fully online. So 9th and 10th graders can take a fully online course with ORU using their learning fund as individual courses. Now, ORU does not require a test score, an ACT score per se, for 9th and 10th graders to do that. On our Next Step website, there is, and as well as hyperlinked here, step-by-step instructions on how you would go about doing that. And then I'm always available to help with those. And again, with 9th and 10th grade, you have TEL. So as Angie spoke about, 9th and 10th grade can take individualized classes as well as enroll in the ECA or +1 program. I have also linked some partner equivalencies and kind of what does that mean? If I take this class at high school, what does it mean when I take concurrent class? How do those two work together to give me credit, not only on the college side, but also on the high school side? So you can kind of take a look there, but basically for our students, when they take concurrent enrollment, they are getting both credits when they successfully complete a course. So when they take, for instance, a sociology class or a psychology class. For some students in the State Department, they give us autonomy to say, all right, that can count as a history or an elective. So depending on what the student needs, their graduation support specialist or GSS is going to be able to track that they have made completion for that high school requirement. So they're going to receive college credit and also high school credit. So again, for our 9th and 10th graders, that's going to be ORU Advantage Program or TEL. Now, when we move into 11th and 12th graders, our juniors and seniors, the world kind of opens up for concurrent enrollment on the college and university side. So students do have eligibility requirements in area colleges, unlike TEL. So they are state required to follow certain mandates requiring eligibility for concurrent enrollment. So each college does have their own eligibility standards. You're going to see that more and more are moving to test optional for eligibility, but a student will still have to take an AccuPlacer at these colleges to assure college readiness and placement. These AccuPlacers are given at the college. They are signed up for at the college as well. I've also linked an equivalency chart for our area colleges. They are much like the same for TEL. We are very excited, however, to this will be our first year to offer +1 programs with not only TCC, but OSU OKC. So we've just got approval just the other day. So you're not going to see TCC on this deck yet, but these programs are very much structured the same way TEL is structured with their +1. It is a set course sequencing with students. There is an application on the EPIC side. I then send a teacher reference off, and you will receive an acceptance letter the same time frame as TEL, giving you next steps. Now, where we differ a lot with TEL versus the OC and the TCC and the OSU OKC +1 programs there are eligibility requirements. So TCC does require test scores. OSU OKC will do some AccuPlacers. Eligibility looks very different for the two of them. OSU OKC is 30 credits. TCC is a 31 credit program. And very much like TEL, these programs, a student will forego their learning fund their junior and senior year. The technology package and the core is covered, but these are subsidized by EPIC as well. We're super excited about these programs as we have some students that are wanting to matriculate into OSU OKC and TCC. And even though TEL OC credits will transfer beautifully, it does alleviate transfer of transcripts and new applications. One of the other differing parts here is how you enroll each year. So you will make application to these programs once a year, but you will use a special dual enrollment form every semester to enroll in the college classes needed for the upcoming semester. The students will stay on that preset course sequencing, however. So again, TCC, OSU, OKC, those are the +1 programs at area colleges. They are subsidized by EPIC. And then as a junior and senior, students can take any course they would like at an area high school. What really differs here is there's an action side to this with the Learning Fund, where a student must request that their bursar bill be sent to our invoice department in order for the Learning Fund to be applied. Now, one thing I do want to pause here and tell you is that if a student does not have learning funds available, any remaining balance on that bursar account will be an out-of-pocket expense to the student. Area colleges will not release grades to me if their bursar bill has not been paid in full. So that's kind of one big thing that I want to make sure that you are aware of. This is the same, pretty much the same spreadsheet and options chart on the right-hand side. You'll see hyperlinks to reach out to me if you have any questions, as well as schedule a meeting. There is more in-depth course sequencing information on the hyperlinks with OSU +1 and TCC +1. So you can see what classes are going to be asked from the student to take. Daniel Redmond is also these students' GSSs once they're accepted into the program. However, they do have to enroll in the classes using the college's dual enrollment form each semester, which is different than TEL. So again, I handle all area college concurrent contacts with public and private institutions, but anything associated with TEL and ECA, and she's your gal. We're certainly here to help in any way we can. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Right, thank you so much. That was another great informative presentation, and just with so much great information for our students and our families. Next up, we have Anita. Anita is going to talk to us about internships for students, work study, and next step. Welcome, Anita.
Thank you. And let me get started. All right. As Leisha said, my name is Anita Manuel, and I am the Internship and Work-Based Learning Specialist in the College and Career Readiness Department here at EPIC. And I'm happy to share some information with you regarding internships, work-based learning, work study, and all of the programs we have available for your student to earn elective credit all the way through high school. So starting in 9th grade through 12th grade, your student can earn elective credit. And we're always looking to build new relationships with organizations and provide opportunities within local communities and through statewide remote options. we have some really exciting programs that are specific to juniors and seniors as well, and I'll touch on those. The first thing I want to do is just share a little bit of definition information just to make sure that we are discussing everything with the same understanding. So work-based learning and work study, that really refers to when a student has a job and is earning a paycheck. And these experiences offer a great opportunity for students to experience real life work, apply their academic as well as technical skills. So inside work-based learning and work study, again, that is when a student is employed and earning a paycheck. We also have a very unique program called EPIC Virtual Internship, and you will have a whole section on that after we wrap up here. And so you will dive into that specifically here in just a little bit, but it is unique in the fact that it's 100% virtual. It is run by 2 individuals within our department. And so your student meets on a routine basis in a Zoom meeting and explores their dream occupation. There's also an opportunity for students to earn industry-backed certifications, which are extremely beneficial. The other definition I want to touch on is an internship. So this is probably what you experienced if you went to college, and kind of the bridge between being a student and going into the workforce. It's a professional position where students work with an organization to gain real-world experience. This is different from work-based learning in the fact that students are often unpaid. We have developed a way to bring in those opportunities for high school students. So it is possible for a student to intern in their dream career, even while still in high school. So that is a really exciting opportunity. I do want to share just this graphic with you. It's a great visual to help you understand kind of everything that happens under the umbrella of internship and work-based learning. So on the left, you'll see that EPIC Virtual Internship program that I touched on briefly. There are 2 pathways, certification and non-certification. And again, the next session after I wrap, they'll dive into that specifically with you. In the middle, you'll see the orange box internship options, and then the arrow goes down to a bunch of yellow boxes. So these are kind of our areas that you can seek internships through. So the first one is the EPIC News Network internship and courses. So if you were not aware, or if you were not in a session yesterday, we have our own news network. It's a wonderful opportunity for any student who is at all interested in journalism to gain real-world experience and put out real news. We also have external internships. So that's where we partner within local communities. So we have internships in all areas of the state, and I work closely within communities to try and bring new opportunities in, new partners, so that our students have lots of selection. The process there is really very much like a student would experience going into the workforce, where there's often an application and an interview process. The next opportunity are EPIC department internships. So over the last couple of years, we've been able to develop with many of our departments across our organization to host interns. So we'll look at that a little bit more specifically in a second. We do have a couple of EPIC exclusive internships, and these are particular just to EPIC. So this is a situation where our students compete only with EPIC students for the internship opportunity instead of maybe students from additional high schools. We do have the alternative internship plan, and that is designated specifically for our OAP students and select SPED students. So there is an option inside internship for all of our students. And then the atypical internship, that is where we allow students to really dream big. So a lot of our students are entrepreneurial in nature, and there are ways under certain circumstances that those opportunities can count as internships. And then the last thing that we'll talk about is the Aspiring Leaders program and courses. So Aspiring Leaders is a course that really dives into leadership development, and it's an opportunity for students to practice their leadership, to learn more about leadership, and it's a great thing for our students to bring forward on their resumes. So again, work-based learning and internship courses are a great fit for students who have any of these following characteristics. They have a job or a current internship opportunity. They want to explore their employability or soft skills. They want to explore career options. They want to learn career-specific skills and even earn industry certification. So all of those things can be accomplished through work-based learning and internship opportunities. I do want to stress that there are limits to the number of these types of courses students can take in their junior and senior year. And this is limited by the State Department. So students are eligible for up to 2 course sections on their schedule per semester. The sections can be all internship, all work-based learning, or a combination. The note is really important that reclassification does not give a student an opportunity to increase that number. The delineation is based on calendar year, not grade level year. So if a student is a junior first semester and then becomes a senior second semester, it's still only a total of 1 elective credit per semester. All right, again, work-based learning, student has a job. When you received this slide deck, I do want to point out, I have some resources in here for you. The internship employment opportunity, that is a database of current opportunities, partners that we have worked with in the past and who are welcoming to EPIC students. This is always changing and always updating. Your student is not limited to the organizations listed here. Your student is free to go out into their community and work to curate their own opportunities as well. I do have here also a job search and workforce reference. So if your student is actively looking for a job and they didn't find anything in our database that really worked for them, this is kind of a one-sheet reference of how they could go about looking for a job, job search engines, and just what is important to a high schooler as they look for work. Work study, same information, except we delineate 9th and 10th grade students from 11th and 12th grade students. So really the only difference is the wording. If you have a freshman or a sophomore and they have a job and they would like to earn elective credit, they would enroll in work study. If your student is a junior or a senior and has a job and would like to earn elective credit, then they would enroll in work-based learning. Internships can be both in-person or remote. So we do have some opportunities that are statewide where a student anywhere in the state can participate because the work that they do and the meetings that they attend are all virtual. So you'll see on the bottom of this slide, I've added a couple of different references for you and resources, the alternative internship, as well as the EPIC exclusive internships. So the following opportunities are all considered internships. Opportunities in your local community, both in person or remote, EPIC department internships, many of those are 100% remote. EPIC exclusive internships, again, the EPIC News Network, select courses only, earn elective credit. Then we have the alternative internship, atypical internships, the EPIC virtual internship program, and again, aspiring leaders. So select courses under the aspiring leaders heading count as internship credit. Many of our EPIC departments are seeking interns for the 23-24 school year. I would like to draw your attention to the deadline. This is an application process, and you'll see an application deadline of September 22nd, and that has the wrong year on that. That should say 2023 for the fall semester. So information about these applications and specifics around all the different internship options should be made available in mid-July, if not sooner. So check for your check with your teacher for information, or you can check your student's EPIC email address. Again, EPIC News Network. It's a great offering for students interested in journalism, photography, video production, audio production. You have students who focus on producing podcasts as well as print news, video news. They go out and cover certain stories in some instances. So if you have a student at all interested in journalism, I highly encourage the EPIC News Network. Now, alternative internships. This is, again, that opportunity for our OAP students and select SPED students who may not feel comfortable or confident to engage outside in their local communities in an internship opportunity. And so we've developed this program. Students are required to receive their principal and compliance specialist approval before diving into this opportunity. And again, the EPIC virtual internship program, which you're going to hear a lot about here in just a few minutes. And one last time, my name is Anita Manuel, and I'm the Internship and Work-Based Learning Specialist here at EPIC. I'm happy to meet with you whenever you would like, you and your students. I'm happy to help with resume building, with resume writing, cover letters. How do I go to my local organizations and inquire about internships or job opportunities? So I really appreciate your time this morning. I'm happy to field any questions if there are some.
Next up, we have Sarah Campbell, and she's here to talk about our virtual internship program.
Okay, good. Wonderful. I am Sarah Campbell. I am one of the virtual internship facilitators, and Anita kind of did a good segue into this. Our virtual internship program is a wonderful opportunity and a great option available to our juniors and seniors that are looking to fulfill one of their next step requirements. It's a great option to get 60 hours of internship credit that you can fulfill that ICAP requirement, as well as getting an elective credit. And students get the opportunity to explore some of their dream jobs, their dream occupations, and develop some career-related skills. And there's two different pathways that you can pursue through our virtual internship program. So you can pursue the certification side and the non-certification side. I'm going to talk a little bit about what those different options are, and then hopefully kind of help you decide what's going to be best for your student. So the non-certification side of our virtual internship. This is a semester-long course. We meet with our students once a week. They pick a class time and they meet with a facilitator every week for a little over an hour. During those class times, they are learning about different 21st century skills like interview skills, job search, building resumes, various things that are going to help them no matter what jobs or careers they are interested in the future, as well as working on various assignments that are focused specifically on the careers that they are interested in. So not only are they working on those employability skills, but they get a chance to dig into their unique interests and their unique career focuses. So the class assignments are developed specifically for each individual student. So you'll see right now on the screen all the different career focuses that we could potentially have students working on. And in fact, I've had to work to develop career-focused assignments based on ones that you don't see. I had some students this semester that were interested in things like content creation and tattoo artists, and having to work and develop those career-focused assignments for them so that they can dig in and learn skills and things that are going to be specifically helping them once they move past high school and be successful in those careers. So that's going to be a unique thing to this virtual internship. So they have time each week to meet and work with their facilitator, not only on those 21st century skills, but also on those assignments that are going to be helping them move into their focuses. They also have the opportunity to work on project-based learning. So in the non-certification virtual internship, they're going to complete 2 major projects during their class time. They have something called a portfolio project, and then the major project at the end of class is a capstone project. Each of these projects are unique to the student. So whatever it is that your student is interested in, it's going to be guided by those skills that are needed by their chosen industry. These are junior and senior classes. They count as those 60 hours of internship credit for their ICAP, as well as a semester, that half elective credit. So they meet every week and they participate in guided notes, discussion boards. They have those career portfolio assignments. Those are their weekly homework assignments. They have a portfolio project, and then they also complete and present a capstone project at the end of the semester. That's their major assignment that they complete towards the end of the semester. The certification side, that's going to be where they can earn those industry-backed certifications. Anita mentioned those in her presentation as well. In this option of the virtual internship, this is also a semester-long course. Students have the opportunity to earn one of 16 and potentially a couple more that we're adding in the fall, industry-backed certifications that align with different careers and industries that students are interested in. These lessons and assignments are backed by our curriculum provider, ICEV, and they have the opportunity to work towards and complete a certification. They need to complete that certification exam. They can do that at the end of the semester. And if they are awarded that industry certification, that's something that goes with them throughout their entire career. It never expires. They can use that for adding to their resume. They can add that to scholarship applications, college applications, career applications, whatever it is they are wanting to attain and do after high school. So that is the goal of that industry certification. This junior and senior class counts as 120 hours of their internship credit, and it counts as a full elective credit. They meet a few times a semester. So this class actually meets probably about every other week is how it falls on the calendar. And they also participate in class discussions. They have those certification preparation materials. Those are done through the ICEV platform. They have the certification exam towards the end of the semester. And then they also complete and present a capstone project as well. So the 2 different options that students can pursue for that virtual internship, you have the certification side and the non-certification side. We do have some enrollment deadlines for this because it is a class that students take on a somewhat weekly basis if you're in the certification side, on a weekly basis if you're in the non-certification side. So if you're wanting to take it in the fall, our enrollment deadline is by September 15th, and then the spring is January 26th. So you can see they have those periodic Zoom or the weekly Zoom meetings that are required, and then they have the projects that they complete throughout those courses. If you guys have any questions, of course, I'll answer them now, but you can always email me and I'll be happy to work with you guys to figure out which option you think is best, as well as whether or not you think this might be a good fit for your students.
And I guess we can go ahead and move on with Hadley. And she's going to be talking to us about career tech. Welcome, Hadley.
Okay, so my name is Hadley Walters, and I am over career tech for Epic. So we're going to take a dive into kind of what is career tech and what do we need to know? So the first thing to kind of know is all career techs are different. So these used to be known as VOTECs. Some states call them technical colleges or trade schools, but here we call them career techs. So there are 29 technology centers and there's 59 campuses. They serve high school students, adult learners, and they're all across the state. So what tech center a student can attend, it depends on where they live. And as long as the student lives in the district during high school, they can attend tuition free. So it's kind of important to know how to determine if career tech is right for a student. And so kind of the first point to make is if a student wants to advance their skill set, which this answer in the top right, the answer should always be yes. But the point of this being in this presentation is Career Tech is not just for students who maybe want to hop right into a job or want to hop right into a trade of some kind. It can be for every single student. There's always a Career Tech program that can maybe help add skills to a student who wants to go on to college, or maybe kind of get a start and decide what college a student wants to go to. So it's also important to know that most programs are only open to 11th and 12th grade students. There are academy programs, and these are open to 10th graders. And so we'll kind of dive into those in a second. Those are usually programs that have embedded math and science classes, and are more, they take 3 years. And so that's why they're open to 10th graders. Career techs do require that students have their own transportation. There are special situations where maybe the tech center is like, hey, we can meet you at the high school that you would attend if you didn't attend EPIC. But for the most part, it is important that the student has their own transportation, and that is Monday through Friday. So a student will either attend a morning session or an afternoon session, and they'll be on campus for 3 hours, Monday through Friday. And then going into, there's a link right there, and I'll show you a slide that has more information on that to determine what district a student lives in. And so Career Tech, the way it works is based on where you live, you're paying taxes into the tech center. And so some areas, there are unfortunately some areas in the state that do not, students cannot attend a Career Tech. And so, like I said, there's very few, but this will kind of give you a general gist based on what school a student would attend if they were not at EPIC. Look through there, filter through that, and find out what tech center they're eligible to attend. And then moving on through the apply process, the application process, we'll kind of dive into that because that's usually the tricky one. And so the timeline is really, really, really crucial for Career Tech. Some teachers may have seen this and students may have seen how important this is because they're all different. So one tech center might have their applications. There's one that's open for 2 weeks, I believe. It opens in November. Once it's closed, there's no late applications, versus some may be open until school starts. So it really just varies from tech center to tech center. And so it's important to know if this is even something a student's partially considering, go ahead and tour. This is really important because some tech centers actually give students more points on their application. And so whenever they turn in their application, if they have a tour, that's going to be another check off the box. And it also is good to know if the student feels comfortable on the environment of the campus. There's a lot of tech centers across the state, and they all feel and seem different. Some have amenities, some don't. So getting to see what that tech center campus would look like is really important. And then I also have the next one talks about applications opening. This really, like I said, it depends on what tech center it is. So I encourage students to start looking generally mid-October. Tulsa Tech is one of the first ones to open their applications, and I believe it's the first week of October. So that would guarantee a student priority enrollment. And so what that's going to look like is a student would be put on the top of the list if they have all of the criteria met. And so some, like I said, some won't close until later. Tech centers GPA and attendance are important, but I would say that attendance is the most important piece. So for EPIC students, that looks like logging on and doing those daily bell ringers. That is important to all tech centers. They want to see that the student is going to show up and on campus for their class Monday through Friday. So that's more important than if a student, let's say they have a lower GPA, that's not something to be concerned about. Tech centers just really want to get the students that want to be there for the right reasons and get them plugged into the opportunities they have on campus. So the student will, after the application's open, they'll apply, interview. Some of these are on the phone, some are in person, some are on Zoom. It just depends from tech center to tech center. The one piece that's super important is that student uses their non-EPIC email. It just helps bridge that communication gap between me and the tech center. If they use that non-EPIC email, they can immediately email the student rather than that lag time of trying to contact the teacher or the student and then them contacting the tech center. Students will be notified. Once again, this is another piece that it varies. Some tech centers have already started notifying students about next school year, and some have not notified and won't until middle of June. So it just depends. And then lastly, we will get your student schedule put together. The Tech Center send me a list of accepted students, and we'll get all of that entered. And so they're ready for next school year and their credits are ready to go. So programs, so there are so many programs, excuse me. This is just a few that I picked that some of the tech centers across the state offer, but know that there is this list, we'd be here all day if we wanted to talk about all of the programs that are offered. Sometimes they're called different things, but they're the same program at different tech centers. So it's really, this is where a student needs to go look through their tech center's website and see what programs does my tech center offer? Do they have a pathway that sounds interesting to me? Credits. So this is a huge question. So most career tech programs provide students with elective credits. So we kind of talked a little bit about those academy programs that start during a student's sophomore year. And so those would include the embedded courses that would be math, science, or computer science. Sometimes those can count towards grad requirements or Oklahoma Promise. For the most part, they are elective credits. But the good thing is that a student their elective courses at EPIC would be replaced with their career tech program. So that would mean less courses on their EPIC schedule. So each tech center, they do courses differently. They do them in different orders. So there's no way to say this is the way that program looks like. It varies from tech center to tech center. So if you or your student have questions, GSS would be a great person to reach out to because they'll have access to the scheduling and how all of that works out. So something neat about when a student enrolls in a career tech program. So a student doesn't just go to class. That's what I love about career tech is it gets students plugged into organizations. There are 7 co-curricular career tech student organizations. It varies from campus to campus what they offer, but what that means is when a student is in a program, their program is tied to a student organization. So for example, BPA, that's Business Professionals of America. So that's going to be for your business students, as well as DECA is marketing. So you can see on the bottom, it has all of the different student organizations there. You might be familiar with some of them, but that's what I love is students get to go compete. If they want to, they can be plugged in to different conferences across the nation. They can go and compete and earn scholarships and awards and be recognized. So that's something that's really neat about a student who is involved in a career tech program. It's so much more than just going to class. Okay, so 504s and IEPs. 504 students who are on 504s and IEPs are more than welcome to apply for career tech programs. The most important piece to know is that the tech centers can provide accommodations, but they cannot provide modifications. That's just because the students are preparing for industry certifications and assessments, and so those cannot be modified. But if a student has accommodations, those can absolutely be provided. If a student needs more modifications, service career programs that are offered at some tech centers, that would be a great fit for students who might need more support and are seeking employment. So I'll talk about it here in a second about what tech centers offer that. So what you're seeing right now is the sheet that shares what career tech a student is eligible to attend. And so these links, I can add them in the chat here in a second. But it's really a useful resource if you're working with students or you have a student that maybe is even curious. This sheet can kind of guide you to their website to find out more information. So this is the career tech information sheet. So I will put this link in the chat because it's the most important one. So it includes a couple of different tabs. The first one that you saw was application information. The second one is programs. So the one scrolling right now is programs. So talks about, do they have a 10th grade program? Do they have special programs such as service careers? And then who would be their accommodations contact? This tab is the events. So if career techs have, or if the tech centers have events scheduled, students can see that there. And then this last tab is the 13th year policy. So what that means is when a student graduates from EPIC, maybe they graduate mid-year, what happens? There are some tech centers that if a student graduates mid-year, they will begin paying for their career tech program as an adult student. And there are some that kind of allow them to finish out their program as they began the semester. And then another really cool piece is that there are a lot of scholarships for students as soon as they graduate high school. So let's say a student graduates from EPIC and decides that they want to go attend career tech, or maybe they want to continue their program. There are tons of scholarships, and so that 13th year policy tab will go through all of that in detail, and what the Tech Center says those policies are. So here's just some kind of quick facts that we talked about today. So there are 29 tech centers. So there is most likely a tech center near your student. And there's so many different kinds of programs. Applications, start looking, you know, I talked about Tulsa Tech's there's opens in October, but for the most part, December through February is that prime application season. So if you have any questions, there's my contact information. I'd be happy to meet with students, parents, families, teachers, anyone that has any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I had students for years that attended Career Tech, and it was just such a great program, and they learned so many life skills, and they were just better prepared for life after high school graduation. So thank you for sharing all of that. We appreciate you. And next up, we have Christy Rich. She's going to be talking to us about state testing for high school students. Welcome, Christy.
All right, so this is very brief. This comes directly from the State Department of Education. It is the college and prep work ready graduation checklist. And I believe if you scroll up through the chat, this link was shared way back in the beginning of today, but I'm sure that one of our great team members can link this again for those of you that may have joined us late. But I'm just going to briefly talk about high school testing. Most people always hear about state standardized testing that is 3rd through 8th grade, and they get used to that, and then they pass on 8th grade and they think, whoo, testing's over, but it's not over. So this is the backside of the page by the State Department, and you'll see where it says other requirements, that the state law requires that students meet the additional requirements below in order to graduate from a public high school with a standard diploma. Please keep in mind, whether you are doing college and career page, or if you're just going to do the core, state testing is required either way. There's no way to get out of the testing requirements. So let's talk a little bit about that. You can see that right here, it says taken in 11th grade, ACT or SAT. We've had several questions in the Family Engagement Department this year at some of our expos about how do you know if you're going to be taking the ACT or the SAT, or which one should I take? Well, this is the test that is administered by our school. It is the actual ACT, but it's administered by our school. If you have a child that starts taking the ACT in 9th grade or 10th grade, or has taken the ACT or the SAT several times, that is a beautiful thing. And you will ask anyone in our college and career readiness team that they say the more you take it, the better you get. Let's get out there and take those tests. But what this is referring to is specifically the test that is administered by our school to our students. And whether that be an ACT or SAT is a district decision. And at EPIC Charter Schools, our executive leadership has decided as a district that we will be administering the ACT. So the test that we administer at EPIC is the ACT, not the SAT. And that will be done in the spring of your junior year. It will be set up by our school, paid for by our school. You will get a login to an ACT portal by our school to check your grades by our school. Though it is the actual test, it does differ in that any other time you take the ACT or SAT, you do that independently from your own. You sign up and you register and you go to a neutral location all on your own. But in addition to high school, where you have to take the SAT, there are 2 other tests that you must take, and that is a science assessment and a test on U.S. history. A lot of people are confused because science is one of the 4 categories on the ACT. So why do we have to take a science assessment again? Well, it's because our state standards require that the science assessment cover the primary course study of biology. There's a dabbling of some of the other sciences in that course, but we need to verify that a student has that base scientific knowledge of biology upon departing high school. And so the ACT covers all the sciences. So it's harder to hyper focus and know that the science portion of the ACT covers all the content material that we are required to test on, which is primarily biology. So we have to take the ACT during our 11th grade year and an additional science test here at EPIC, which is called OAS Science. Then there's one more test that can be taken anytime during high school. However, at EPIC, we choose to just loop that right into their junior year with all of the other tests. It just makes sense if we're going to be taking the test to just do them all at once. The one caveat to U.S. history is that you need to understand that that test is post-Civil War to present. It's not Revolutionary War. It's not, the Louisiana Purchase, all of the things, the moving westward, in U.S. history. This is post-Civil War to present. So it's the latter portion of history is the part that this test takes. And then you'll see down there are a couple of additional requirements. All students at EPIC, well, across the state, have to take a personal financial literacy course. That should be embedded in sometime in your 4 years at EPIC as a class. But because we are virtual, even though we are a blended model, we're classified virtual. The CPR AED course, that is not required for us. So though you see that on this page, if you were to click on that law right there, it is a live link. It would explain to you that we are not, as a charter, that we are not required to take that. So we are exempt from that requirement. And then one of the very recent additions within the last year or so is the addition of that all students in order to graduate high school must pass the U.S. naturalization test. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't know exactly how we're rolling that out at EPIC yet. I don't know when we're going to take that test and exactly what that's going to look like, because it is very, very new. So I believe all those processes and procedures are still just now rolling out or in development. But the caveat that I think is very interesting to note here is that though they are required to take the ACT, they're required to take the science assessment, and they're required to take the U.S. history. They're required to take the personal financial literacy course. The thing that I think we all need to notice right here is that this says that we must pass the U.S. naturalization test. So that is a slightly different focal point for our current high school students that are going to be graduating. So I don't like to say that I am the expert in this, but I did want to cover the material briefly for you so that you know heading into high school what is expected from the testing environment. But again, the link is there in the right, so you can click on that. I encourage any high school or potential high school student to print that out. Both the front and the back of those sheets are a great way to track credits, track what you've taken, what you haven't taken, what you still have to take, how many electives you have, what all the high school requirements are. The State Department has rolled that out for us. It's very easy to read, very easy to navigate, and it is kind of the one-stop shop for all graduation needs. So if you don't have that, please print it out.
Thank you, Christy. That was very informative. And I do see that the website to the information you were sharing is linked as well. Next up, we have Felicia Harrell, and she's joining us to talk about AP courses and honors courses. Welcome, Felicia. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, we're going to go ahead and get started and talk about advanced placement. Advanced placement, you may also hear it as AP. That's usually the acronym that we use for advanced placement. So what is advanced placement? For me, what I like to tell parents and students, I want you to think college level coursework. We're starting to work on college level classes. So advanced placement is that college level coursework and exams that students can take in high school to receive college credit based on their scores when they take the AP exam. So students can get a head start on their college level courses in high school if they wanted to. Advanced placement is really for any students in grades 9 through 12. As long as they're motivated and academically prepared, AP is a great start for them. Anyone is able to enroll in those courses, and as long as the student has taken the recommended prerequisites, we also have a prerequisite chart that will kind of guide them into which content area they need to have already completed, and then which AP classes they need to start with. So the thing about advanced placement is this is a national level program. It's not something that just EPIC has for students. It's found all around the United States and internationally. So the material is presented by College Board, and the program gives students an opportunity to seek those college level classes and studies while they're in high school for free. So that means you can take those college level classes and not have to pay for them while you're in high school. There's no fee to enroll in an AP class. And also with EPIC, we have a certified instructor that is guiding the student through the coursework. So for example, if you want to get a head start on some of your college level classes and you want to start with psychology, that's a very popular class here. You will have an instructor to guide you through the coursework. You can meet with them every week to really walk them through everything. So it's not just a curriculum that the student is exposed to, they actually have an instructor with them. So by taking those AP classes and exams, they're going to gain advanced placement or college credit. You have to take the AP exam, and we'll talk about that later on. So depending on the student's grades on the AP exam, they can earn up to a full year credit at a college or university and be eligible for prestigious awards as well. We just had a student complete 7 AP courses this year, and he is going to Cornell University. So he got a very good scholarship for all the AP classes that he completed. Also with advanced placement, you get dual enrollment, and it allows students an opportunity to earn college credit with the passing of the AP exam. And then you also get credit for your high school requirements as well. So if you're taking English, AP English 1, and you take the AP exam and you pass it, you get that college credit, but you're also going to get high school credit on your transcript. Okay, so some of these benefits that we've covered a little bit, but it really gives students an advantage. You're starting college early, so you can earn that college credit before you even step foot on a campus. I mean, that's incredible right there. You can get a head start in high school if you're on that college track. You're saving money and time. Earning credit or placement can open up time on your schedule and kind of get through that associate level for many students. And then if you take those associate level classes in high school, you're not having to pay for them. And that's saving you money instead of starting with the associates when you go to college. Okay. And then earning advanced placement can let you skip those introductory courses, of course, especially with trying to earn that associate's degree. And then something we hear a lot about is standing out to colleges. You know, many colleges, Ivy Leagues and bigger universities, they see that AP designation on your high school transcript, and it really shows them a lot. It shows that you are tackling college level classes before you're out of high school, and that you're completing them and hopefully earning good grades on them too. There are some colleges and universities in the United States that already grant AP classes credit or placement for those qualifying AP exam grades. You know, every college differs. Some of them will accept the credits and some of them will not. And the good thing about AP is the majority of them will transfer to just about any school, but it's always a good thing to speak with your GSS or with us, and us make sure that it aligns with the university or college that you're going to. So right here are the AP classes we are offering at EPIC. We offer classes in the area of art, English, and then you have many of your history and social studies, psychology. We have a couple of math classes and then a few science classes as well. The two newest ones that we are adding is world history and psychology. The students will be able to take those courses with an EPIC instructor. The student can elect to just take an AP exam, and if they pass it, they can earn the college credit. But these classes right here are actually taught by an EPIC instructor. And then if you have the slides, you can use the prerequisite chart, and it will show you a pathway to see what classes you have to have before you can enroll in certain classes. For example, the AP English Language and Literature, you have to be an 11th or a 12th grader to enter those classes. So here are some required course materials that you need to know about AP. If you decide to take an AP class, students will need to enroll in APEX as their core choice. And the reason for this is AP has to go through a course audit, and they have to approve the material that is being presented to the student so that it's appropriate and it's hitting all of the standards for those AP classes. The only exception would be AP Art. We have a different curriculum for that one, but all other courses offered at EPIC, they will use APEX. Some of our teachers do have additional course materials for the students, so those costs will apply and they will come through the Learning Fund. The student will work with their AP teacher and primary teacher to make sure that they're ordered and they have everything they need to be successful. You can think of most of these as just supplements to help with the learning material for your AP classes and exams. So some more information that you need to know about AP is prior to starting your AP class, we do ask for a contract to be signed. The contract is designed to inform the parents and the student and the teacher of everything that's required when you're taking an AP class. The deadline to drop an AP course is 14 days after the initial enrollment. So this will help the student decide, in the first two to 3 weeks or so, that if this is right for them, because it is a college level class, the coursework is a heavier load. So they have a little bit of time to decide if this is the right fit for them. And then after that, they can drop or not, but there is a deadline to do that. After the 14 days, the student cannot be changed from the course under any circumstances, even if they are failing the class. So kind of how the grading works, advanced placement teachers will record the grades for each student, not the primary teacher. That instructor who is guiding the student through the curriculum and the course will record the grades for them. The student's primary teacher can find all of that information in their PowerSchool. And then the AP teacher will also send progress reports to the student support team, anything as needed. And then our teachers do try to meet with students every week to make sure that they are going through the coursework well, making good grades, especially just to really guide them through any of the material, especially for the AP exam coming up in May. If a student has to miss a lesson for any reason, it's the student's responsibility to get in touch with that AP teacher for any of the missed assignments or lectures. So AP testing, this is very important. AP testing is what the student would need to complete if they want to earn college credit. The student cannot earn that college credit just for taking an AP course. The AP exam has to be combined with that. We highly recommend that students sit for the AP exam. So if they do pass, they can get that college credit and get a head start. Students may use their Learning Fund to pay for those fees. The exams are not mandatory, but we do recommend that. Once again, the cost for each exam is $97. So if a student is taking multiple AP exams, each one is $97. And then qualifying low-income families can get a fee reduction, and that can be processed on EPIC's side once we have those numbers. So in November, we finalize the intent for students to confirm that they want to take an AP test. So we do have a deadline. The student has about 2 to 3 months to decide if these AP classes are for them and if they want to sit for the AP exam to get that college credit. The testing locations, I will tell you this year, AP testing occurred in Oklahoma City at 50 Penn and then in Tulsa at the Logan building. So your student can expect to test at either one of those locations. Exams are only administered the first 2 weeks of May. So when AP testing starts, it'll be the first 2 weeks of May. If a student decides to cancel an AP exam or they just don't no-show for the AP exam in May, there are late fees that occur. These late fees are not being paid to EPIC, they are being paid to the College Board for AP exams. So some additional information, we do have a deadline to enroll students in AP courses, and that deadline is September 15th. We have launched some communication already to students and parents that are eligible for AP classes. So you have during the summer to decide if this is the track that you want to go and if you want to enroll in AP classes. So September 15th would be the deadline to do that. Of course, if you are a transfer student, we do take in those AP courses. And we are capping classes this year just because you have an EPIC instructor and they are kind of one-on-one and individualized. Okay. Something brand new this year and very, very exciting is pre-AP. EPIC is offering pre-AP classes for students. It's open to all students in grades 8 through 10th. So starting in middle school, your child can get a head start on thinking about AP classes, and pre-AP is a great initial start to this. The content is really grade level, but it's really just maximizing their content area to decide to go towards AP classes. They are back mapped from AP courses, so the material aligns well when they get ready for those AP classes in high school. They do not provide college credit. They do not do that, and they don't require you to sit for any kind of final exam. They're really just designed to prep you for wanting to take those AP classes. They offer a consistent instructional model. And then pre-AP promotes equity. As a grade level program, pre-AP closes the opportunity gap for all students. And then at EPIC, we are offering 6 pre-AP classes. So we'll have 2 science, 2 math, and 2 English. So if your student is looking to start their AP journey, pre-AP in middle school is a great way to start. And you also will get credit for these classes that you take, high school credit for those. We have not launched enrollment. I'm still working on that, but be on the lookout for the enrollment link for pre-AP classes. And here is a slide just to show the different teachers that we have for our AP classes. We have Amy Schweitzer in science, Rick Harris is our history and social studies, Stacy Johnson does the AP art, Jessica Jameson Burden does our English department, and then Rusty Richards takes care of our AP math. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me and I would be happy to work with you and figure out if AP is the best fit for you. Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Felicia. That was extremely helpful. I'm just so excited about all the opportunities we have for high school students at EPIC. We're expanding programs, and just the number of AP teachers we have are available now is just exciting. And thank you to everyone for sharing so much. I feel even more informed than I was before this started. So I'm sure that the families, caregivers, and students who are attending are just really soaking up all of this great information. Next up, we have Judy Jones. She's back again. Thank you, Judy. And she's going to be talking to us about credit recovery and credit by exam.
Hello. I've got this is a really short presentation, but I do want to talk about those students that qualify for credit recovery, talk about credit by exam, and what that looks like for our high school students. So what is credit by exam or credit recovery? So credit recovery courses are courses that are OAS, that's Oklahoma Academic Standards based, and are used to help students recover credits in a small amount of time. Credit by exam means that students can take an exam to show mastery of standards and earn the high school credit that way. So to take credit recovery courses, you do have to be qualified to do that. It's only offered to certain students. And those certain students can qualify by meeting one of the following items. Students who are behind cohort, that means that they're not on track to graduate within their 4 years of starting their freshman year. So if they maybe missed a semester of school, something like that, or they failed some courses, that would put them behind cohort. They would qualify to take some credit recovery courses. Students at risk of aging out, meaning students that will turn 21 years old before the next school year, qualify for credit recovery. Students who've had a gap in their schooling for any reason, maybe they missed a semester due to a life event, a year of school, they thought they were going to drop out and then they came back. Any sort of gap in their schooling qualifies them to take credit recovery courses. And then students who actually took the high school course in a homeschool or a non-accredited school can retake those courses through credit recovery. And then students that also took a course and failed it, or maybe had an incomplete, qualify for that if they're more than one credit behind. So for the credit by exam, it's a little bit different. To take that, we have two different versions. We have a credit by exam, which we call CBE, and then we have a proficiency-based promotion exam, and that's a PBP. So those are hard acronyms to say, but let me kind of explain the difference here. To qualify to take a credit by exam, those are only going to be offered to students that took high school courses while at a homeschool or a non-accredited school. Because we're a state accredited public school, we can't automatically accept credits from a homeschool or a non-accredited school. So one way to redeem those credits that they took from that homeschool or non-accredited school is to take an exam. And if they pass that exam with a 70% or more, then we can award credit for those. And as students come to us throughout the year from homeschool, we can offer those exams for courses that they took in the homeschool or the non-accredited school. The proficiency-based promotion exam is a little bit different in that any student can sign up and take those exams. And those are basically to like test out of a high school course, which means if you pass it with a 90% or higher, then you get the high school credit for that. Those are only offered during certain windows throughout the school year, and you have to sign up for them. I think that's all on that one. Yeah, so it's I told you it's a really short slideshow. That's really all I have about credit recovery, credit by exam, proficiency-based exams. If you think your student qualifies for credit recovery and they're not in them or they want to be in them for the upcoming school year, definitely have the teacher reach out to their graduation support specialist and discuss those options with them.
Thank you, Judy. We may have a few more questions come in if you want to check the chat here for the next few minutes. Thanks for your presentation. It looks like we're running just a little bit ahead of schedule, but Angela Keck is here. So if you're ready, Angela, we can go ahead and start the Schoolhouse Freshman Academy presentation.
Thank you. So the schoolhouse model this year is growing. So we've included 6th through 8th grade. They spoke about yesterday at this presentation, and we're also doing a freshman academy. The schoolhouse model creates a learning experience for our students where they have the opportunity to take advantage of grade levels teachers that are highly qualified in their content area. Students will get more class time instruction and socialization with other students on their grade level. The teachers, for example, they'll have a main homeroom teacher that may be math certified, and they will be their primary homeroom teacher. Each teacher will have approximately 25 students. They will meet with that teacher for math and their elective courses, and then of course all the experiences that we're going to offer with students. And then they would also have in addition 3 other teachers that they will have classes with, either in person or Zoom. And those teachers are also certified in their content area. So each student would have a math teacher, a science, a social studies, and a language arts teacher. And all of them are very qualified and passionate about what they're teaching. So the Freshman Academy is for 9th grade students. They'll be placed with the main homeroom teacher and attend their subject-specific classes. Those meetings occur both in person and virtually. It's a combination of both. That gives them opportunities for in-person learning with their peers, along with the virtual options as well. And then for student growth and engagement, they'll be working with grade-specific teachers in consistent learning environments with their peers. And some other opportunities we're going to offer at the Freshman Academy are students are going to be able to still participate in AP courses, honor courses, EPIC's Collegiate Academy, internship and work studies, as well as portfolios. Teachers will offer 1 to 2 of the following opportunities a month to enhance the personal learning goals and to introduce high school students to post-secondary educational experiences, such as field trips, science labs, college campus visits, career tech visits, career exploration, military and community involvement, as well as volunteering. And our program administrators, our executive director is Adam Wilhelm. Our managing director of instruction is Sue Ann Vaughn. Our special services director is Emily Beers. And the principal is myself, Angela Kay. And our enrollment is open now, so we're hoping to continue to get more 9th graders coming in. And if anyone has some questions, I'll be glad to answer those as well.
Thank you, Angela. That was great. We're so excited that we have the Freshman Academy in the schoolhouse model this year. And I know we have a lot of students and families that are super excited about that as well. So, and I know that you guys are eager to share information. If anyone wants to reach out, that they're welcome to contact you guys. So thanks again. We're still kind of running a little bit ahead of schedule, but I see that Kylie Montgomery is here and Travis Wolf. So since you guys are ready, we'll go ahead and get started with our Native Student College and Career programs. Thanks for joining us.
Halito, Chimachukma, Sahochipayat, Kylie Montgomery. Hello, how are you? My name is Kylie Montgomery, and I'm a member of the Choctaw Nation. And I am the Western Region College and Career Specialist for EPIC Charter Schools Native American Programs. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our program. So I have a counterpart, Travis Wolf. He's on with us today as well. I cover the western part of the state and he covers the eastern. Between the two of us, we serve over 2,000 students. But we also have more members on our team. We have 4 different regional specialists. We have an outreach program specialist, and then we have our Native American programs coordinator. But we all work together. This is how our state is broken down by the county. So the purpose of EPIC Charter Schools Native American Programs College and Career Services is to engage with the Native American students who wish to pursue a positive entrance into a college or career. We don't just focus on college though, we also try to help our kids with tech schools, military, any option after high school. Some of the different services that we offer our students that makes our program unique is we are available to work with our students and their parents on a one-to-one basis. And so this can cover filling out FAFSA, Oklahoma's Promise, and graduation and scholarships. Being Native American, there are a lot of different scholarship opportunities available. And so we just want to make sure that we serve our Native students and make sure that they are aware of the opportunities that are out there for them. We also have Google Classrooms for our Title VI students. So what Title VI means is that our students have filled out the Title VI form and have turned in tribal membership cards to our department. That way it states that they are Native American, and then they can be served from our department. So each cohort has a different code, and on these Google Classrooms, we target what those students should be going through and looking at. So for example, our seniors, we have a plethora amount of scholarship opportunities available to them. Our sophomores, we start really working on resume building and personal statements. And then our 8th graders, we encourage them to apply for Oklahoma's Promise. We are able to offer different test preparation activities to our students. We have ACT vouchers, so our students can take the ACT without writing for free. We are currently working on getting vouchers or being able to pay for the SAT and AP classes, that AP test that they were talking about at the end of the school year. We also have test prep materials for the ACT, SAT, PSAT, ASVAB, and the US citizenship test. We also offer one-on-one study hall sessions and practice test sessions. We are very happy to announce that we are going to have a Passion to Purpose day camp available for our Native students. It's going to be open for incoming 8th graders to seniors. We are partnering with Rose State College, and it is a 4-day day camp. Students do not have to attend each day, but they are more than welcome to. And each day will have a different event. So one day we're going to travel to Haskell University, the College of the Muskogee Nation in Bacone. We're going to tour different career techs around the state. We're going to go through STEM opportunities and just make sure that our kids are knowing what's out there for them. So going back, as you can tell, we really pride ourselves on our one-to-one meetings with our parents and their students. And this is where we really get to know our students and help find them opportunities that cater to them and what they're interested in. So on the side, we do have QR codes. So if you would like to meet with myself or Mr. Wolf, you are more than welcome to. Or you can also email our Indian Education email. I'm available for questions if you guys have any, or you can email us any questions that you might think of later. Thank you.
Well, it looks like we're going to end our morning session a little bit early. So it is 11:36. And yeah, there's Kylie has added her email. Thank you for that. And we are going to take a lunch break. Our lunch break was scheduled for 12 to 12:30, but since we've ended a little bit early, we could take a longer lunch break and see everyone back here at 12:30. We will continue with our high school options and programs and just all things high school starting at 12:30. So please join us then, and also please let us know if you have any questions in the meantime, or if you need any help. We do have the Family Engagement Department here on staff who's also happy to help, and our EPIC parents as teachers are also always in the wings, ready to offer additional support as needed. So please do not hesitate to reach out to any one of us. Enjoy your lunch break, and we'll see you soon at 12:30. Thank you.